but he's bigger than Drake. Y'all know I'm one of the biggest YoungBoy fans on the earth. Let's see what they're talking about when they say the industry.
NBA YoungBoy has more YouTube views than Drake, more than Taylor Swift, more than Bad Bunny. He's been the most streamed rapper on the platform 5 years running, and he did it as the youngest artist ever to land 100 songs on the Billboard Hot 100. And somehow he's still the one the industry treats like he doesn't quite belong. Complex just named him Best Rapper Alive for 2025, and in that same interview he told him he thinks he's blackballed. That's the whole contradiction that we'll be talking about today in this video. How does someone dominate at this scale and then still get pushed away by the industry that he's dominating?
He dropped so many songs.
15 billion YouTube views, 8 billion Spotify streams, 5 straight years as the platform's most streamed rapper, beating Drake in 4 of them. And he built every bit of that out of Baton Rouge, starting as a teenager with no radio machine behind him, no big marketing budget, no brand deals, nothing.
Bro, YoungBoy really, like, YoungBoy is such, like, a blessed, and obviously it's hard work, but God has really blessed that man. Because YoungBoy, I think, has been on the radio, especially with Shot Collin. I think before in his life he's been on the radio, but he doesn't get constant radio play. He was signed to a label, but y'all see how many people sign to labels, and when they don't sustain their level of heat, you know, labels don't keep on funding because it's like you ain't hot no more. YoungBoy has been consistently hot with a crazy fan base, bro. Like, YoungBoy really one of them ones. I don't care what anybody has to say, bro. Like, YoungBoy is just he's one of those, bro. Not saying I like everything that I don't even like every decision this man makes, especially as of late. I ain't gonna lie, I gotta be honest. But everybody's human. You know, we all do things. It's just that celebrities and people in the limelight, their mistakes get exposed way harder than our mistakes do.
And smoothing the way. Outside Today 2018. Not even that long ago, right? A song that went quadruple platinum off the strength of the streaming numbers alone, not the radio. His first real top 10 hit, Bandit, with Juice WRLD, followed the same year.
That song is a banger.
So none of that required a playlist push or a label campaign. He just dropped constantly. And that loyalty runs both directions. When he faced legal trouble, his fans defended him in the comments. And when he spent close to 2 years in federal custody on gun charges, they kept the streams going like nothing had ever changed. That's like loyalty you see with real fans. That's not really something you can get with marketing or an industry. That's real fans you develop. There's a similar story like Kodak Black, where I talked about this.
Yeah, you like people don't realize in order to make a, like what he just said.
That's like loyalty you see with real fans. That's not really something going like nothing had ever changed. Close to 2 years in federal custody on gun charges, they kept the streams going like nothing had ever changed. That's like loyalty you see with real fans. That's not really something you can get with marketing or.
Yeah, like people think marketing helps. Don't get me wrong, but nothing can beat a fan base. Nothing can beat that support, the work you put out that people keep on watching, people keep on listening to. Nothing can beat that. No matter, you can market whatever you want. If people ain't tuning in, the market don't mean nothing.
Industry. That's real fans you develop. There's a similar story like Kodak Black, where I talked about this recently. Go watch that too. You're getting loyalty without needing anybody else's permission. Despite all that, YoungBoy has never made the XXL freshman list. Even in the years he was clearly illegible, like 2018, 2019. That's the same list, though, that Miss Drake and Nicki Minaj the same year also passed repeatedly one of the most streamed rappers alive. List, though, that Miss Drake and Nicki Minaj the same year also passed repeatedly one of the most streamed rappers alive. It's not just XXL either. Limited radio support, brand deals, never materialized the way they do for artists with other big comparable numbers. Grammy recognition. They never really caught the industry too much too. The pattern kind of holds everywhere in the industry. For
he just don't care.
The industry is just choosing who to let in. The reason usually traces back to his legal record.
Back then was different.
He's got multiple arrests, weapon charges. In May 25, he's actually still serving time on federal gun charges when President Trump granted him a pardon. After roughly 2 years in custody, he thanked the president publicly for it, in his words, letting him keep building as a man, a father, and an artist. That record is exactly why labels and brands treat him as a complicated bet, no matter what the numbers say or what he says. But 2025 is also the year that record collided with the biggest commercial proof of his career. So fresh off that part, he launched the first ever headlining tour, Make America Slime Again, MASA. You heard of it. 42.
You know I was at this bro. You know I was there in Oakland too, turning up, bro. I may put a video up in here for y'all, bro. I was in that bitch going crazy. I'm so heartless. He was 16, that killer Dave, mine in the rage. I'm way too young to feel this pain. Man, I came to hear that lonely child. I want to hear that pain, that singing. You know what I'm saying? That Renata came on. Got a brand new Pedic, I think I pay over for. I'm starting to think that I pay over for your love. I'm fresh as hell, that's your loss, I ain't no scrub. I was falling in love with you, ain't take you as no dub. You something else, you don't know what to do with yourself. You grown, you don't need no help. My love is too heartfelt, but I just wanna wrap you up and hold you in my arms for the night. You been gone for so long, let's celebrate that we unite. Ooh, I hit that. The note right there, don't say I didn't hit the note. Don't try to act like I didn't hit that shit.
2 shows, and every single one of them sold out. 552,000 tickets. Somewhere between $70 and $75 million in gross revenue, which makes it the 10th highest grossing tour by a rapper in US history. His Philadelphia show alone brought $2.3 million, single highest grossing night of their run, with his most attended show was Las Vegas, where more than 15,000 people showed up in one night.
Come on,
that's not niche. That's not a niche fan base showing up because of whatever.
Come on,
that's hundreds of thousands of people just dedicated, waiting years to actually see him in person.
Once a month, I catch myself probably putting on a jacket that I put on probably 2 days ago.
Fuck you make the...
And here's the part that makes this more than just his record's bad so the industry stays away kind of thing. Because that's not actually a consistent rule. Chris Brown has a well-documented legal history of his own, but he's still in Grammy wins, giant arena tours, brand partnerships throughout his career. So a troubled record clearly is...
They be giving R&B, no disrespect to Chris Brown, you know what I'm saying? Him and YoungBoy dropped a banger too, that Red Rum. You know, baby, this one I'm on. I'm trying to be your number one. You got so many icons. I watch them. But they be giving R&B people a pass, bro, with certain shit. I ain't gonna lie. They be giving them a pass.
Disqualifying on its own. It's selective. Some artists get to keep their seat at the table, right? YoungBoy, with bigger streaming numbers than most of them, doesn't. That's the question. That's what we're talking about here. That's really the uncomfortable part of the story. It's not that the industry has some fixed standard it's holding him to. It's that the standard bends for some artists and not for others. And he's ended up on the wrong side of that line, despite the numbers making the strongest possible case for him. It's not just Chris Brown either. Take Kodak Black, someone we already covered on this channel. Repeated legal trouble, prison time, still landed a Diddy co-sign, XXL freshman spot, and platinum records along the way. The industry found a way to work around Kodak's record when it wanted to. It hasn't found the same willingness with YoungBoy, even though his streaming numbers dwarf almost everyone else in that conversation. So this isn't really about risk tolerance. If it were, nobody with a record like Kodak's or Chris Brown's would get another shot either. It's about who the industry decides is worth the risk, and for whatever reason, YoungBoy keeps landing on the wrong side of that decision. And there's another part of this that doesn't really get talked about very much, because it's way less visible than an arrest or a court case. Most people discover music through playlists now. Rap Caviar, today's top hits, whether you like them or not, you think they're basic, huge editorial playlists will put a song in front of tens of millions of people overnight without them really wanting to. And radio still matters too, but brand partnerships also matter. Award shows matter, and all of these are places where somebody, somewhere, is deciding who gets pushed. YoungBoy's career almost feels like the opposite experiment. He became one of the biggest rappers in America while barely depending on any of that. His biggest songs didn't explode because Spotify put them at the top of a playlist. They exploded because of an audience was refreshing YouTube every time he dropped. He'd disappear for months because of legal issues, and then come back with another banging hit video. It'd immediately rack up millions of views. That's why Complex called it the invisible music stardom. If you only looked at radio, award shows, magazine covers, or major brand campaigns, you wouldn't guess he was one of the biggest artists in hip-hop.
That's so crazy how he's saying that, because I think that's the main problem with music. People don't like to do their homework. Because what he just said, if you went off that alone, you wouldn't think that. I remember I told my sister seen the videos I recorded of the YoungBoy concert, and she was all like, I didn't know YoungBoy was that big. I'm all like, huh? She's like, I don't ever hear him on the radio or nothing. I'm like, why is the radio the end all be all of people's research? I showed her the video full. It's like that many people showed up for him. Literally. Like, bro, we gotta stop just because. And that's another thing. People think because, like, when people aren't familiar with something, they assume that it shouldn't be that big because I haven't heard of it. It can't be that big because I ain't heard of it. Bro, you are not the end all be all. What you think and say is not law. It's a big planet out there, bro.
But if you looked at what millions of people were actually choosing to play every day, you'd get a completely different picture. And maybe that's the biggest shift in music over the last decade. The industry used to decide who became famous. Artists like YoungBoy proved you can build an audience so big that the industry has to acknowledge you, even if it's never fully embraced you.
Yep.
And one more thing is, people called him the YouTube rapper because he'd come back after a little bit and drop like a hit music video or song. But what's interesting about that title is it kind of became a backhanded compliment, at least to YoungBoy. People used it to imply an artist wasn't mainstream enough, like success on YouTube.
Every time, same thing with only YNs listen to him, or he's the kids love him, or the YouTube rapper. You found you this is what you did. You found something to take away from the success. Because how many people are getting that many views on YouTube? How many rap musical artists have this many subscribers on YouTube? Okay, bet. Then you tried to say my streaming numbers. I haven't sold 100K first week since 2023 or 22 or something like that. I be selling 70K, 80K. I didn't have low sales. Then I go on tour and I sell out every show. 70 plus million in gross revenue. Now what? The people that were selling 100K or 90K, I am not even gonna say names. I don't want to put down nobody, but did they sell out every show? Did theirs make the top 10 gross revenue shows? Did they sell every shows? But we know what's going on. They buying streams. Young Thug already said it, and you feel me? 6ix9ine did. They already said it. They buying shit. Cause then, how come you doing all that, but then you can't go on tour? How many tours then got canceled? Let's just be real,
somehow
bro.
Counted less than radio hits or Grammy nominations. But for an entire generation of fans, especially Gen Z, even Gen Alpha coming in, YouTube was the mainstream. That's where they discovered new music. That's where we watch videos on repeat. That's where we see the hits and we can talk about it. And it built communities.
You ain't
around
gotta like
artists.
them, but shit, you gonna hear about it.
Do you think YouTube and these platforms are great to find artists and talk about artists? And do you think it means the same amount as winning a Grammy or getting a lot of radio plays? Let me know. Here's what I think matters the most. YoungBoy built all this without a single piece of the industry's machine behind him, right? No XXL. He has no Grammys, no major brand deal, no radio.
He got fucked over
even
with
a
the
strong
Grammy shit
criminal
too.
record.
He was nominated for a
Stronger,
Grammy. Well,
yes.
what's your name? But
The
Tyler,
word,
the Creator.
That's the exact thing that's kept the industry at a distance. But it didn't stop 552,000 people from showing up once he was free to perform. The industry's opinion about him, whether it's positive or negative, barely moved the needle of any of it. That's either proof that the industry's gatekeeping doesn't really work on anybody, or proof that the artist figured out how to make its own opinion irrelevant. Realistically, it could just be both. Y'all gotta let me know. So where does he go from here? He's told Complex to expect up to 4 projects in 2026, coming off a year where they're mainstream and apparently the White House finally caught up to him. At this point, the question isn't whether he's talented or whether he has an audience. Both of these things are already answered in billions of views and hundreds of thousands of tickets. The real question is whether the industry ever actually lets him in all the way, or whether he just keeps building something bigger outside of it, one sold-out tour at a time. Based on the last decade, I'ma say I wouldn't bet against the outside option. Y'all please.
Great video, bro. What I will say is, NBA YoungBoy, just take your time with this shit. You know what I'm saying? I like Slime Cry songs that you could have left. I wanna fuck with you. They could have left that off there. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? Better Than Yours too. You could have left those two songs off there. But you know, Slime Cry, I love Slime. I still play it all the time. You know, take your time. And them leaks, them October Rain. There's a couple of songs, bro. October Rain, Letter to Big Dump, like all them songs. Like, bro, put that in a collective tape. I know I ain't gonna lie, ML2 was actually ML2. At first, I'm like, what the fuck? Why he ain't put such and such on here? I don't know what you got planned, but please put in. I know you ain't feeling that melodic in your singing shit right now. You want some fuck certain people type shit. I get it. YoungBoy ain't on that right now. So I don't know if we gonna get that from him. But YoungBoy, please just put that in a project for us, bro. Please, just your supporters. Please just give that to us, bro. I'm not gonna lie. October Rain, certain melodic pain songs that are not even pain songs, just melodic storytelling songs that you got. I know you ain't feeling that no more. I know you not feeling that. At this moment, you on some rah-rah turn up shit. But we'd greatly appreciate if you could put that in the tape for us, bro. Not even an album, just put that in the mixtape for us. Y'all, if y'all like this video, man, be sure to like this video and subscribe if you're new, man. Next episode of TV, we're back.